Hi, this is a brief introduction to ClientWindow, a platform that centralizes WhatsApp communication between private clients and professional services firms. The private client continues to send WhatsApp messages as they do today, but the professional services firms can now receive those messages in a centralized platform with granular security to allow certain staff members to communicate with specific clients, and also the ability for those internal firms to receive those WhatsApp messages as emails, and if they reply to those emails, the client gets the response back on WhatsApp. So the client can use the channels they now increasingly prefer, which is messaging apps, and the professional services firms can use the tools they need to use for business communication, which typically is email. Let me show you how this works. So I now have the ClientWindow desktop app open on my screen. We also have a mobile app that looks exactly the same, which is downloadable from the app stores. Each client we onboard, we provide them with a QR code that allows anyone interested in their services to simply scan the QR code. That will open WhatsApp and it will open a conversation with their business. For any inbound WhatsApp messages from senders the system doesn't recognize as clients, it will send those messages to what we call the reception. So typically our clients allocate certain staff, and they may be sales teams, new business teams, to have access to this area and then to communicate back and forth with prospects using the ClientWindow platform with the client on WhatsApp. You can also see here that a prospect in this scenario has uploaded a WhatsApp voice note, and ClientWindow automatically transcribes that voice note into text. And there is the ability to download the audio and download a transcript of that audio from the platform. Each client that the professional services firm communicates with is set up as a workspace. Think of a workspace as a professional WhatsApp group location where you can define who the internal members of staff are that can communicate with the external party and who those external parties are. So in this scenario here, we've got 111 Marley Limited, and we can see the participants on this WhatsApp group. There's one external person, which is Carl Tierney, and we have 3 internal members of staff who are allocated to communicate back and forth with that client using the ClientWindow platform and for the client to receive those messages on WhatsApp. There are scenarios where there may be more than one external contact on the platform. So maybe it's a limited company where there's 2 or 3 directors who should all be part of a single communication or a WhatsApp group with the professional services firm. Very easy to add colleagues into the system. We have 4 levels of privilege. An account user is the most basic user who can just read and reply to WhatsApp messages. An account admin can actually go and create those client spaces and define who the internal and external people are on those WhatsApp groups. Reception admin role grants someone access to go and view those new business opportunities in the reception area. And the account owner is a top level user who has full control over your global settings. Finally, we have the external clients who are on WhatsApp, and for example here we have a contact called Carl Tierney. The most important thing that's been done is to add his WhatsApp number, and from the point forward that that number has been added, any inbound message is known to be from Carl Tierney, and it knows which entities we manage on his behalf. So he could be just a private client, or we can manage multiple business accounts on his behalf, and therefore he can route those WhatsApp messages to the correct team who deal with those specific clients. So if I send a message from the client now on WhatsApp, hello, I need to make a payment but have an issue. The client has now sent that, for example, to the professional services firm. If I go to my aggregated view of all the messages that I'm involved with across all clients that I communicate with on WhatsApp, you can see there's a new message that's come in from Carl Tierney on WhatsApp. Hello, I need to make a payment but I have an issue. So I could respond to that through the platform, as can any of my colleagues who also have access to speak to Carl. That's a shame. Let me speak to the team and revert. I've now replied to Carl from the ClientWindow platform, and he will receive my response back in WhatsApp. And you can see we always give context to the end client as to who within the professional services firm has sent the message. So here it's Dean McAllister said, "That's a shame, let me speak to the team and revert." And the team and the client can go back and forth on a conversation on that basis in the platform. We have some nice features also. For example, if the client wants a full transcript of all the history of their WhatsApp communication with the firm, it's a one-click process now to export that WhatsApp history and any attachments that have been added by the internal team and the client. As I mentioned, we also have email integration with the platform. So if I go to my emails now as an internal team member in the private bank, for example, or the professional services team, I can now see that I've received a message from Carl Tierney, who was the gentleman who sent the WhatsApp message, and I can see what his message is on WhatsApp. "Hello, I need to make a payment but I have an issue." I can also see the previous 10 messages on that WhatsApp conversation with the client to give me some context in email before I reply. So I'm going to reply in email now. I will unlock your account, Carl. I will let you know when that is done. I could attach documents in my email software and the client will receive them in WhatsApp, but for speed I'm going to send that email now, and my response to the client that I've sent via email, we will make sure that any signature that's been added to my email generally, or any images that are attached to my signature, are removed before the client gets the response back on WhatsApp. So you can see here the first message that the client got was me sending a message from the ClientWindow platform, and the second was when I sent a message from email to the client, and we've extracted all the miscellaneous and unnecessary formatting from the email so that the client gets that response back on WhatsApp, and we'll assume that we've sent that from WhatsApp.